Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited. As tonight was Monday Night Raw, but not only Monday Night Raw, it was also night 2 of the WWE Draft. Now, my overall thoughts on tonight's show was I liked Raw. I thought it was an easy show to watch. I thought it was a fun episode of Monday Night Raw. I thought the draft portion of it was interesting and so forth, but there's a little bit of a negative as well. I thought as a go home for the pay-per-view, not all that great. Not all that great as far as a pay-per-view go home show does go. Gonna be completely honest. If I didn't know that it was a pay-per-view go home, then just watching it, I probably wouldn't have known. Like, they did a good job a couple of times throughout the night going, hey, don't forget on Saturday, we got a pay-per-view, Backlash from France. Hey. But it just felt like they didn't do much or enough to really build up and hype up and get me more interested in this pay-per-view, which I'm just barely interested in anyways. I'm going to be completely honest. Only 4 matches have so far been announced for this pay-per-view. We do have, and I'll tell you those 4 matches right now. We have the World Heavyweight Championship on the line as Damian Priest defends against Jey Uso. Damian Priest probably going to win that one. The Undisputed WWE Championship is on the line as Cody Rhodes defends against AJ Styles. The only way Cody's losing that one. The Kabuki Warriors will be defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. That could go either way. And then we also have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton taking on the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and as they're calling him, MFT Tamatonga. I don't know what the MFT stands for. If you know, put it in the live chat, because I have no clue what MFT Tamatonga stands for. What if I Google it? What comes up? MFT Tamatonga. Okay, here we go. 3 days ago, Tamatonga reveals on Instagram what MFT stands for. And the post was deleted. Hold on. Let's see this one. Oh. Motherfucking Tonga. Tamatonga. That's what MFT stands for. Is that real? No, it can't be. Hold on. Let's see. Let me go to his Instagram then. Tamatonga Instagram. I'm not seeing anything on his Instagram because this said, oh, he put it on Instagram. Not that I see. Wait. Yeah, no. I'm not seeing what MFT stands for. Oh, see, he just put MFT. Tonga MFT 4 days ago. And everyone on here is like, what's MFT stand for? What's MFT stand for? But he's got no explanation. So if you're watching live right now and you know what MFT stands for, not NFT, Jacob, not non-fungible token, but M as in Mario, FT. MFT. Yeah, I don't know what it stands for. Yeah, I don't see anything. So play it by ear. If you guys, again, if you know, let me know. But overall, I thought it was a good episode of Raw. Not the best when you compare it as a go-home show for the pay-per-view, though. Just gonna say. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube and help us out over there as well. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post things to the community tab. Also, hit that join button to become a channel member and support the channel that way. Even if it is just at the $1 tier, that is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated as well. And finally, you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And the last thing you can do to help us out is head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PWU Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. I don't know how I got a pen mark on my arm from what? Anywho, did my pen explode? Maybe. I don't know. Anywho, whether you're going and getting Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, you're claiming one of the free games, which right now is Industria and Lisa the Definitive Edition. Maybe you're getting some of this new stuff for Fortnite. They got NBA Blacktop Baller gear, and they also have Farm Lego sets for Lego Fortnite as well. Use this code PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Now, as far as Raw does go, no Luke tonight. Luke had school stuff that he had to work on and get finished. So, no Luke, taking a solo. Hopefully, we got Luke back by... See, and I see here. So, Tama Tonga, I'm still on his Instagram. I was trying to close it, and I saw more. 4 days ago, posted a video of him from SmackDown. It says MFT is all he wrote. And then someone was like, seriously, like, WTF does that mean? MFT. And then in his description, the only thing in his description is, of course, his Threads link. And then it just says MFT. What's MFT? I'm going to send a tweet out. Hold on. We're going to figure this out. All right. When it comes to Tama Tonga, what the hell does MFT stand for? All right. Let's see if anybody bites on that and if we get an answer and so forth. Ooh, what is this? All right, so as far as Raw does go, let's jump over here to my notes. Kid Vicious says it stands for My Family Tree. Where he says I looked it up. Where, Kid Vicious? Give me a link or something, because that just sounds weird. You got a link, put it in the live chat, either YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching. But as far as Raw does go, let's jump into our notes and our recap right here. The U.S. champion Logan Paul shows up, and he's with I Show Speed. They're in Kansas City, so of course they got the Kansas City quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, old Patty Mahomes. It's a huge reaction from the live crowd. They then welcomed Damian Priest in the Judgment Day as well. Priest congratulated Paul on his success, and Paul returned the favor. Paul said that Priest would destroy the ugly Uso of Backlash. Judgment Day, Paul, I Show Speed, and Mahomes all entered the building together. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee then ran down the rules of the draft standing at ringside, this time not in the ring, but standing at ringside like we've seen them do on NXT. And I think Cole and McAfee have done once or twice before as well. Opening up the show itself, though, first segment was the women's champion, Becky Lynch, world women's champion. Is it? Yeah. No, women's world. What is it? Hold on. Is it women's world champion or world women's champion? Let's go to www.com and figure this out. I should know this. Women's world champion. It's been a week and they still don't have a render of Becky with the belt, which is weird. which is so weird. Anywho, Becky comes down to the ring. She said, Kansas City might be where the man was born. The arena was where where her face got busted by Nia Jax. She said that she stood there as champion 6 years later, and it was still her show. Crowd chanted for Becky. Lynch said that it took nearly 2 years to regain a championship, which led to a "You deserve it" chant. Lynch didn't want to just hold the title. She wanted to defend it. She wanted to fight the best. Liv Morgan would then interrupt. Morgan said that Lynch should thank her and look no further than her as the next challenger. The crowd started chanting for Mommy. Morgan felt like Lynch owed her one. Lynch was only the champion because Liv Morgan injured Rhea Ripley. Morgan said that this was still her revenge tour, and she would not stop until she got everything that she wanted. Lynch admitted that she wouldn't be champion without Morgan, but Morgan would be champion right now if it was not for Becky Lynch and what she did last week, win the Battle Royal. Nia Jax would interrupt, and they had to make sure we knew Nia's been drafted to SmackDown, but the draft doesn't go into effect till next week, so Nia can still be here and do whatever she's going to do. So Nia made her way down to the ring. Jax says that they were lucky that she got drafted to SmackDown. She said tonight was her last night on Raw. Crowd popped. But before she left, she planned on taking them all out. Morgan would then drop kick Nia off the apron and say, hey, if you're about to make a challenge for a fight tonight, look no further, I accept. So this is set up Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan for later on in the show. We then go on to show us some people showing up to the building. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed. Now, I know I've been gone for almost a week. I know that I was trying to keep up with the news, wasn't keeping up with anything. When did they announce Sami Zayn defending the title against Bronson Reed? Wasn't on WWE's website at all today. Wasn't on their Twitter. And then they do the 10 minutes till commercial on USA Network, and they tell us Sami Zayn defending the title against Bronson Reed. Was that the first time it was officially announced for tonight? Because I didn't even know. We did our preview this morning. We looked on WWE's website and so forth, and nothing said Bronson Reed challenging for the IC title until 10 minutes before the show when WWE put it in the commercial. So what? When was that announced as tonight? We know Bronson Reed, was getting the title shot, but when was it announced that it was tonight? Anywho, we then got the first round of the draft. Stephanie McMahon actually announced those draft picks, which is really cool to see. So as far as that does go, in the first round, pick 1 is Raw, and they take Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, Imperium. As you see, no Giovanni Vinci. They said he is available on his own to go later. Pick 2 would go to SmackDown as they take Jade Cargill. So Jade Cargill is a night 2, number 1 overall for SmackDown. So no, night 2, first pick for SmackDown, number 2 overall for night 2. Pick 3 would then go to Damage Control, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And pick 4 would go to SmackDown with Kevin Owens. And I think it was Pat McAfee that was like, Raw was a little smarter there, as they took 6 wrestlers and SmackDown only took 2. We then move into, speaking of Gunther versus Xavier Woods. This match went 16.5 minutes. So they went to break about a minute into the match. The screen saw some glitches, more Uncle Howdy stuff. Woods tried fighting back with chops later on, so Gunther just chopped him down. Woods then chopped Gunther off the middle rope and hit a missile dropkick for a 2. Woods' leg then got caught in the ropes, and Gunther just stomped the knee hard. Gunther continued to target Woods' leg following another break and mocked him as well. Gunther went for a splash, but Woods got his knees up. Woods then tried to fire back, but Gunther chopped him down and applied a half crab. It seemed like there was no escape for Woods, so Kingston grabbed a white towel, and Kingston threw in the towel, but Woods begged him, was going to throw in the towel, but Woods was like, no. Woods almost then fought out, but Gunther applied the STF, and Woods had no choice but to tap. That was a pretty good one-sided match. I thought, Woods didn't look like a jobber, a geek, a noob, but it did make Gunther look very strong and dominant without jeopardizing any credibility that Xavier Woods has, if that makes any sense. Like, I wouldn't call it a squash, especially since this match was 16 and a half. I would say it was pretty one-sided, and Gunther came out looking very, very good. Woods, no less for the wiser. Go to the back, and Kathy Kelly's with Jey Uso, number one contender for the World Championship. She wondered if he was feeling any pressure, and Jey said no. Priest is going to receive a yeet down at Backlash. She asked about Logan Paul's earlier comments, which I wasn't sure what that meant. What earlier comments? Okay, so if it was, now I'm thinking something. When the show started, I had it muted. So when Logan Paul came up and ISO Speed and Patrick Mahomes and all that, and they had their little interaction, I had it muted, so I didn't hear anything they said. Maybe then. Correct me. Is that when he said something about Jey Uso? Probably when they did the thing with Judgment Day. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it. But he said, man, I wish we would just signed the better Paul brother, the one with the winning record. The crowd liked that line. Then we saw that Patrick Mahomes was in the front row, and Samantha Irvin announced him to the crowd to a big ovation. We also had Chiefs players Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, who were there as well with him. They had clips of Smith and Humphreys joining a young fan in the ring before the show started. It was Fan Smith who helped. It was the fan that Smith helped to safety during the shooting at the Super Bowl parade. Really cool. Logan Paul and ISO Speed then came out to make the next picks for the draft. I like this ISO Speed guy. He's got so much enthusiasm, so much just raw energy. I don't know if he'd be a good wrestler. I don't know if he's athletic or anything, but just him doing these draft picks, pretty good choice. I liked it. So we heard that WWE liked what he did at Mania. So, of course, bring him back a month later. Not even a month later. As far as round 2 of the draft does go, pick 1 goes to Raw, and it's CM Punk. Pick 2 goes to SmackDown, and it's The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and B-Fab. All right, pick 3 goes to Monday Night Raw, and it's Braun Strowman. Remember that name for a minute. Pick 4 then goes to SmackDown as they take it Stiffy time, Tiffany Stratton. So, Logan Paul then made his way to the ring, and I just wasn't feeling this until Strowman came out. Paul made his way to the ring. Paul said that he spoke the truth when he said Priest is going to beat Jey Uso. Jey leaving the bloodline was a mistake because he couldn't win a title on his own, unlike me, which is the joke there. Jey Uso then interrupted. Jey asked the crowd if they thought he could beat Priest and become champion. They said yeet. Jey asked if they thought he should beat up Paul. They said yeet. Jey said yeet to the crowd. And then Paul was like, I've been yeeting since before you were yeeting. Yeet. And the crowd didn't react. So they're trash talking a little more until Finn Balor and JD McDonough would jump Jey Uso from behind. Jey didn't wait to get attacked. He tried to beat them down, but then the 2-on-1 was too much and this and that. And so Logan Paul goes over to Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, this crowd loves Patrick Mahomes, but he played a heel tonight. He literally takes his 3 Super Bowl rings, gives them to Logan Paul, and he puts them on his hand. He gets in the ring, and he's going to hit Jey Uso with them like he does with the brass knucks. Jey ducks, and he hits JD instead. And I go, what? Just gave him a Super Bowl ring. Patrick Mahomes is a heel. That made no sense, but okay, cool, whatever. Jey Uso then laughs as JD is knocked down. And Paul is like, oh my God, what have I done? This then led to Braun Strowman running out as Paul and Balor were double teaming on Jey yet again. Paul then bailed as the big man chased him out of the ring. Balor was chokeslammed. And then Strowman actually went over to Patrick Mahomes Humphreys and Smith kind of stood up next to him like, you mess with our quarterback, you mess with us. And Jay's like, big man, it's all good. Let's go. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So, yeah, it was... Before Strowman came out, it was meh. But I was just happy to see Braun Strowman back. So even if the whole segment was kind of just whatever, but I popped when I was like, yeah, Braun's back. Ooh, Braun Strowman. So then we get confused. R-Truth, like very confused. R-Truth's in the back, working out some sort of a deal with Chad Gable to get Alpha Academy a tag title shot tonight. Miz then showed up, and Gable was like, you guys are a pretty good negotiator here. And basically Truth was like, yeah, looks like we're going to get drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. And Miz goes, Truth, you know that this is the WWE draft, not the NFL draft? And he goes, oh, well, I do now. Never mind. And then he says something about, well, how about you just go out there and you can talk to Patrick Mahomes? He goes, the insurance guy? I can make a claim on my car and my home at the same time. And Miz is just like, oh, Lord. And then they leave, and Gable was all of a sudden super kicked by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn just looks around and takes off, and Pat McAfee goes, well, you got to take out the opposition before they take you out. Sammy with the first shot tonight. Kathy Kelly's with Booker T, who's they called the draft analyst. And they asked Booker what he thought of the draft so far. Booker said that he really liked Jade Cargill being picked for SmackDown and Punk being picked for Raw. This then led to Drew McIntyre showing up and going, oh, yeah, you think it's all fun and games that he was picked before me? I know what you really think about CM Punk. I was around the first time when CM Punk was here and you were on the roster wrestling and you didn't like him. I remember what you said about CM Punk. Don't talk good about him now. I remember what happened back in the day. And Booker was just like, whoa, hey, calm down. We don't need any of that. McIntyre then thought that, this is now a backwards world and things are going to change. Michael Cole then noted that if Bronson Reed won the title tonight, he's protected in the draft. And Sammy will go wherever Reed is drafted to, which is interesting. A cool little twist there. It's like Bronson Reed's going to get drafted eventually tonight. But if he ends up the Intercontinental Champion, he stays on Raw. Sammy goes to his spot, which we knew Sammy wasn't losing the title tonight. Match goes 9 minutes. Well, just short of 9 minutes. Intercontinental title on the line. Sami Zayn against Bronson Reed. So Zayn hit a dive early on and went for a flying crossbody, but Reed caught him and hit a power slam and a senton. Zayn then fought back after the break, and Reed hit a Uranagi for a 2 and a sit-out powerbomb for yet another 2. Reed then hit a shoulder tackle off the apron, but as he slipped back into the ring, Zayn nailed him with a haluva kick. As Zayn was going for the cover, though, Chad Gable would run in and hit a German suplex on Sammy for the disqualification. Gable then put Zayn in an ankle lock and wouldn't let go. Reed then flattened Zayn with a tsunami. Gable posed with the IC title, but then was dropped by Bronson Reed with the Death Valley Driver, who then posed with the IC title. Give me triple threat vibes, just like we're seeing with SmackDown and the women's title over there, the WWE Women's Championship. Feel like we're going to get a triple threat for the IC title as well. They didn't announce it for Backlash. There's still time. Maybe they do it on Raw next week instead. I don't know. But I'm feeling triple threat vibes here. The APA, Ron Simmons and JBL come out for round 3 of the WWE draft. Pick 1 goes to Raw, and they tell us the LWO, including Carlito, so it's Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, Zelina Vega, and Carlito are going to Monday Night Raw. SmackDown selects Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Elektra Lopez, Angel Umberto, which I'm so happy they did. Split up the LWO and Legado del Fantasma. Put the LWO on one show, put Legado on the other show, let them do their thing. Raw then selects Drew McIntyre, and SmackDown takes Shinsuke Nakamura, so the LWO moves to Raw, Nakamura moves to SmackDown. This then leads to Drew coming out. He wondered if the APA had been drinking since Friday because it was stupid that he was getting picked in the 3rd round. McIntyre then said that Punk was no longer anti-establishment and he was a corporate ass kisser. McIntyre congratulated Punk on finally accomplishing, well, something. Punk fractured his elbow at WrestleMania. However, unlike Punk, McIntyre shows up to work every week like a real man. We then hear Punk's music hits. Put down on the button on the button. Put down button on the button on the button. And all of a sudden, Punk's like, hey, what's going on? I'm up here. And the camera pans up to one of the skyboxes. And basically, he was just like, you say I don't show up to work. Well, I'm here tonight, you little bitch. McIntyre gets pissed, storms to the back. You know he's going to go look for CM Punk. Gable then approaches Alpha Academy in the back. And he's like, what are we doing here? You've got a match, Maxine. When you two have a tag title opportunity, Maxine, you know what you got to do tonight? And she's like, well, you see me last week? I got 2 eliminations. And he goes, 2 eliminations? Where's your title? She's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, you didn't win. 2 eliminations is nothing if you don't win. He's then like, Otis, you need to step it up. And Tozawa, if I see you do that dance, oh, and then they all leave. Well, basically, Otis and Tozawa leave. Gable walks off. And Ivy comes over to Maxine. She's like, don't worry about him. Just let's go. We'll get ready for your match. Kelly is then with Braun Breaker. Breaker said that Adam Pearce knew that he was the best pick because he was on Raw to take it over. Sheamus would then approach, and I go, oh my God, this match would be amazing. He approaches Breaker and got right into his face, kinda. Sheamus would say, you need to calm down, kid. Sheamus was like, I'm impressed. And said the Breaker reminds him a lot of a younger version of him. Sheamus stopped speaking upon seeing McIntyre storm by them. Breaker didn't seem to really care about what Sheamus had to say. We have a bit donation from Esports Gaming Rules 316 on Twitch. He says, with Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Asuka, and Dakota Kai, and I forget Dakota Kai, being drafted to Raw, do you see a possibility of Io Sky being a contender for the Women's World Championship and Io Sky being the first to complete the Grand Slam in Stardom in WWE? Well, it's not a thing, so we're going to say that. Well, there's no such thing as the Grand Slam of Stardom in WWE. There's not. But I mean, so just trying to think. And Fonzie's where the life polls. Totally forgot to do them. I got sidetracked with some other stuff. Got 2 jobs I'm working right now. 2 different things. But anyways, like the Stardom WWE Grand Slam, you're making stuff up here. That's not a real thing. No, I've never seen anyone talk about it or say anything. I mean, she could become a Grand Slam champion in WWE, sure. What titles has she won and not won in Stardom? I don't know. We can go look really fast. Io Sky. And I don't even know all the Stardom belts, so even me looking this up really doesn't mean anything. But she has won in Stardom. And it's like, have they introduced more belts to Stardom since she left? Maybe. But she's won a bunch of stuff in Stardom. Arts Stardom champion 6 times. With Mayu Iwatani, Takumi Iroha, Kairi Hojo, HZK, Momo Watanabe. And then she's the Goddess of Stardom champion, a high-speed champion, a SWA World champion, Wonder of Stardom champion, World of Stardom champion, and then, yes, she's a Grand Slam champion in Stardom. As far as WWE does go, Women's Championship, Tag Titles, NXT Women's Championship. So, yeah, I guess she only needs Becky's belt, Women's World title, and then she would be a Grand Slam champion in both. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that would make her the first Grand Slam champion in both companies, but it's like, okay, cool. Is that a real record? I mean, how many women can really say that they could even accomplish that anyways? When it's something like that, to me, when it's like, it's the list of people that can accomplish that is like this big. It's like 2 people maybe. It's an finite number. It's something that I wouldn't even, worry myself with. It's something where it's just like, cool, she's the first one to do it. But who else can even try to do it? You know what I mean? At least when you say, oh, Jon Moxley or no, Chris Jericho is the first person to be WWE and AEW champion. And it's like, okay, cool. You can say that as a thing because there are plenty of former WWE champions or World Heavyweight champions from WWE in AEW. There are a number of people that can do that. How many Grand Slam Stardom champions are in WWE? Or how many Grand Slam WWE champions are working Stardom? There's none other than Neo. So it's like no one else can even accomplish it anyway. So it's like, what's the big deal? If there are a number of people that can accomplish it, then I'll be like, ooh, can she be the first one to do it? Not, can she be the only one to do it? You know what I mean? But also, you forgot Dakota Kai, guy. So speaking of women's wrestling, we had Candice LeRae against Maxine Dupree. The match went about minute 45. Dupree hit a Northern Light suplex and a reverse caterpillar. Dupree then applied an ankle lock, but then lost her focus when Indy Hartwell shoved Ivy Nile into the ring post. This allowed Candice LeRae to slip out and hit the Wicked Stepmother, her version of a curb stomp, and pin her to pick up the victory. Basically the Brian Danielson move, where he grabs them, pulls them back so they're like up, and then boom, stomps their head into the mat. Match again, minute 45 seconds, nothing really to it. Candice gets the win. We then talked to Rey Mysterio and the LWO backstage. Kathy Kelly asked about them coming to Raw, and they said that there's mixed emotions, but they're excited to be on Monday Night Raw. They have unfinished business with Carlito as well, since he's coming over. Dominic would then walk up and mocked them and said, hey, I just want to let you know, Judgment Day run Monday Night Raw. And Ray goes, how could Judgment Day run anything if you haven't even been drafted yet? And then he goes, also, what's that on your lip, Dirty Sanchez? Dom was like, and sheepishly ran away and was like, you're lucky I'm not cleared. Then CM Punk, always being one step ahead, Drew McIntyre finally gets to the skyboxes and he's like, where's Punk? Is he in this one? No. Oh, he's in the other one. And he walks in. No Punk, but an autographed 8x10 of CM Punk. Drew is in the skybox and we hear CM Punk's music hits and CM Punk walking to the ring. So as Drew was running up to get Punk, Punk just walked away. Punk just left. Punk then gets to the ring and he's like, I got some things to say. I'm going to say them faster than Drew McIntyre's title reign at WrestleMania. 5 minutes, 46 seconds. Pat, time me. Punk said that McIntyre was like an ex-girlfriend he couldn't get rid of. Punk was glad he hurt McIntyre's elbow. He said, McIntyre, you prayed that I would get hurt, but I injured you. I hurt you. Punk says that he was drafted ahead of McIntyre for a simple reason. Well, he was the best in the world. Punk says that he wasn't mad or out for revenge because McIntyre had given him purpose. He said, losers hope for things. They pray for things to happen. Winners, they make things happen. Punk says when he's cleared, he promises to make McIntyre's life a living hell. Pat's over here going, minute 45. And then he's like, all right, I'm done. And he like sits around and he looks up at Drew. And then eventually he's like, you don't need to see me. And he turns around and he's sitting down and he turns his back to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's in the skybox just. And he's like, Pat, what's my time? He's like, we're about 2.5, 2:45. So yeah, great stuff here. I think the stuff they're doing with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is awesome. And here's the one caveat with all that. And maybe caveat's the wrong word for me to use here, but here's the one thing about all of that. Punk getting injured may have actually been the best thing for this storyline because they've been able to stretch it out. They've been able to build on this. I feel like if Punk wasn't injured at the Royal Rumble, they may have rushed it. They may have already done the blow off. They already may have done Drew versus Punk and gotten it over with already. Now, maybe not, but I'm just saying, with them having to wait on Punk to get cleared, they can keep building and building the tension and the animosity and the hate that Drew has for Punk and the disdain and all of that. And it's just like, it's actually a blessing for this storyline because they have no choice but to let it grow, let it fester, let it build instead of being like, all right, we're going to get it done now. Here's the plan. We're going to do it this time. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm very happy that this has been, a longer storyline now due to the Punk injury, I guess you could say. Teddy Long and Alundra Blaze come out for round 4 of the WWE draft. Punk embraces Alundra Blaze, gives her a peck on the cheek. Pick 1 goes to Monday Night Raw, and they take Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough, so they stay with Damian Priest on Raw. Pick 2 is SmackDown and goes Naomi. Pick 3 goes to Raw, and they take NXT's, as they called him, the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. And pick 4 goes to SmackDown as they take Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So Dragunov is our first call-up of the night, former NXT champion, coming up to Monday Night Raw. When they show him at the PC, he lets out a primal yell. He is super excited. I feel like he expected this. As we'll talk about later with a few other of them call-ups, with Blair and Lyra, they were not expecting it. But I feel like, just like everybody else, Ilya was expecting this. Whether he was told or not ahead of time, I don't know. But, yeah, he was pumped. We're all pumped. Shawn Michaels embraces him, gives him a Raw hat, and there we go. We then get Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. Match goes 10.5 minutes, and they show Tiffany Stratton sitting in the front row. So the match is going on for about a minute or so as we go to a break. Come back with a commercial for the Fall Guy movie. They talk about how they set a world record in this movie. They did what's called the cannon roll, where basically your car is going and it looks like you're shot out of a cannon and you roll the vehicle for the stunt. And they're like, set a world record, 8.5 rolls. And my first thought was, you ever see Michael McDowell, 2008 at Texas Motor Speedway? This man going almost 200 miles an hour into turn 1. Car snaps right. He goes headfirst into the wall and tumbles 13 times. Rolls it 13 times. So don't give me no, 8.5, oh my God. Don't give me none of that. Until you go look, Michael McDowell, 13. 13, headfirst into the wall, 200 miles an hour, or near 200 miles an hour. So 8.5 ain't nothing. Anywho. So we come back from the break, and freaking Liv Morgan has got Nia in the corner, like her head in between the top and middle ropes, and say this is the turnbuckle, and this is Nia's head. She's just going whap, 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 literally smacking Nia's head against the turnbuckle. Nia's trying to get her arm up for every one, barely, if not even for most of them. And I'm like, oh my God, Nia's getting knocked loopy as hell. And Nia was fine. Nia eventually gets out of it, hits a big Samoan drop, but only gets a 2 off of it. Jackson climbs to the middle rope and is set up for the annihilate her, but Morgan uses Jack's arm to yank her down. Morgan then follows us up with the powerbomb for a 2. Naomi is then shown attacking Tiffany Stratton in the front row. Jackson knocked Naomi off the apron because she jumps in for some reason. I don't really know what's going on. So much is going on. Morgan then uses the distraction to hit a code breaker and an oblivion to pick up the victory. So it's like a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure. Like, I saw Naomi take Tiffany and smack her face first onto the barricade from the front row. And then all of a sudden it's like, why is Naomi all of a sudden on the apron? What is Naomi getting involved in this match mean? For why? Because Naomi got involved, or because Nia got involved on SmackDown, I guess? They're really trying to tell us that this is going to be a 4-way for the WWE Women's Championship at Backlash, but not at the same time. Like, they're building to a 4-way. They'll just tell us it's going to be a 4-way. Maybe they'll tell us on SmackDown. But that's what it feels like, a 4-way. We're back with our draft analyst, Booker T. Kathy Kelly's talking to him, and he congratulates Ilya Dragunov on being selected. He mentions maybe Trick could be next. Oh, maybe we also get Roxanne Perez coming up. Kelly then approached Adam Pearce, who was walking off wearing his best Jim Cornette. And he said, you know, some of the best picks are the picks you don't even make. Nick Aldis, I'm glad you took Chelsea Green. She's out of my hair, and now you could deal with her. I laughed so hard. We then get round 5 of the draft. Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, they do their shtick. Bring out a table. They say, what's up? Devon get the tables. Oh, my brother, testify. Then they make the picks. First pick goes to Raw, and they take the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Second pick goes to SmackDown. They take Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson. Pick 3 goes to Raw, and they take Lyra Valkyria. Then pick 4 goes to SmackDown as they take Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. But Lyra, they call her name, and she's just like, what? Huh? What? Like, she's just so like, no, you're joking, right? You're kidding. Just super raw emotion. So great. Big reaction from the crowd when they announce her. I loved that you can tell they didn't know. You could tell she didn't know. And same with Blair Davenport in the next round. Because you wouldn't have got that same, oh my God, yes, I'm so shocked emotion. You would have just got, you know, Lyra Valkyria, and she would have done like, yeah, all right, like one of those kinds of things, instead of the, oh, no, almost crying, if not eventually crying by the time the little thing is over. Like, it was awesome that she didn't know. And you could tell she didn't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like she didn't know. We then go to R-Truth and The Miz coming out. And Miz is like, yeah, here we go. Truth, tell them. People over there, what's up? You feel me? And they do their whole little spiel, and we go to the break. Come back, and the match has already started. It's R-Truth and The Miz defending the tag titles against Akira Tozawa and Otis. On TV, we only see 2 minutes of this match. There's nothing to it at all. Alpha Academy did not get an entrance. Miz then boots Tozawa off the apron, and Tozawa takes a huge, like, shooting star bump. Boom, face first down on the floor off the apron. This was nuts. Otis then dropped Miz with the dropped Miz and hit a caterpillar. Tozawa went for a big dive. Miz got his knees up off of it. Miz then gave Truth to Tozawa. They hit their double team, and there we go. They pinned them to retain the titles. There's literally nothing to this match other than just a Tozawa bump. Tag title match that meant nothing. What are we doing here? This was crap. And so, like, the champ can just make title matches? When's that been a thing? I thought it's always like, oh, I hope the GM gives us that match. Like, oh, yeah, cool. Nope. None of that. It was just like, Chad went to Truth and said, can my boys have a title shot? And Truth said yes. Like, okay, whatever. We go to the back, and Dom's annoyed that the Judgment Day still hasn't been, or that the Judgment Day was drafted in round 4. He's like, why did we drop all the way down to round 4? And Priest goes, you really want me to tell you? You really want me to tell you? Because I'm not surprised. The reason you guys have been demoted down to round 4 is because I'm the world champion. And whenever you guys try to come help me, even though I don't need it, you fail. That's why you're round 4. You step it up. And then get the final round. Oh, and we see, I'm going to pull this picture up on the screen. JD's face from being hit by 3 freaking, what's his name? Super Bowl rings. Like JD's god dang face. Whoop. Wrong button there. Like, look at this. JD's freaking face. Boom, boom, boom. Like, hot damn. I mean, it's all makeup. Probably, I would assume. But still, visual of that came off really, really well. Let me get the final round of the draft that actually aired on TV tonight. The general managers came out to make these picks, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Raw goes first, and they take the Final Testament. Karrion Kross, Scarlett, AOP, Akama Razor, and Paul Ellering. SmackDown would then take DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Raw would take Big Bronson Reed. And the final pick on television of the draft, SmackDown selects NXT's Blair Davenport. To where we saw Lyra shocked earlier in the night, Blair even more shocked and surprised. Like, no. Crying. Like, just, Sean gives her the SmackDown hat, and she's like, well, I'm SmackDown. I'm SmackDown. She didn't know what to do because she didn't expect it. Just like most people. I got a couple DMs where I was like, whoa, that's a left field pick. Oh, didn't expect that one. Whoa, what are we doing here? You know, so yeah. And then, so the thing pops up on the, we're going to pull this up too. Because this was funny. What her scouting report said. And then Pat even mentioned it as well. So, they show her scouting report, right? It says, born in England, raised in New Zealand, gothic charisma meets cold-hearted fury, frightening intensity. And so Pat goes, hold on, Cole. Did that say gothic charisma? Gothic charisma? And I don't think Cole even responded because he didn't know what to say. What's gothic charisma meets cold-hearted fury? Huh? Also, again, like I said, Blair Davenport, not someone I was expecting. She's good in the ring. Now we'll see if she can hang when she's got to cut, you know, these main roster promos and whatnot. Like, I always thought she was a good wrestler, even back to when she was in AEW. Granted, she wasn't in AEW long, but still. Then we go to our main event, 6-man tag team match. It's Jey Uso, Ricochet, and Andrade taking on the Judgment Day. Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. Not much happens before the break. That comes 90 seconds in or so. Minute and a half, 2 minutes in. Good guys all hit dives as we go to the break. The heels were in control after the break, though, with no explanation. Priest worked over Ricochet before kicking Jey off the apron. And then Pat McAfee goes and tells a story about what happened during the break. Apparently there was a dive and Michael Cole got knocked over or whatever or something. And his Apple Watch starts going off with Life Alert. His Life Alert starts going off on his Apple Watch. And he gets a call from Life Alert asking if he was okay because they thought that he fell and needed assistance. And Pat goes, yeah, Cole's Apple Watch almost just called 911 right here at ringside. What? Not Cole old enough he needs Life Alert? And Life Alert works on the Apple Watch? I didn't even know that. I just remember back in the day where you see those Life Alert commercials and they got the thing around their neck like a necklace. I've fallen and I can't get up. Anyways, we come back and Andrade tried to get in, which distracted the referee long enough for McDonough and Balor to get some shots in on Ricochet. Ricochet gave McDonough a recoil, made the hot tag to Jey, who knocked Priest off the apron before hitting Balor with a right hand, a thrust kick, an uppercut, and an enziguri. Jey then hit Balor with a flying crossbody, but McDonough broke up the pin. Andrade hit McDonough with a back elbow before Priest kicked Andrade and planted Ricochet with a flatliner. Priest then finally tagged himself in and clotheslined Jey. Jey slipped out of a Razor's Edge attempt and hit a Samoan drop. Dom distracted the referee as Jey went to the top. Priest then was going for the chokeslam, and Jey going to chokeslam Jey off the top rope, but McDonough stepped in and shoved Jey off the top instead. Priest then got annoyed with McDonough getting involved. Priest and McDonough then started to argue as Jey superkicked Priest into Balor. Jey superkicked Priest again and superkicked McDonough. They claimed that Balor somehow tagged in at this point because Priest bumped into him. Sure, whatever. I don't really know, but anyways, Jey gave Balor a spear, splashed him, and pinned him to pick up the victory. Not JD taking the pin, no. Finn frickin' Balor. Jay then posed with Andrade and Ricochet as the show goes off the air, as they give us the rundown for this Saturday's pay-per-view Backlash. Let's check out that right here. So as far as the card for Backlash does go, so far, 4 matches, and let me pull this up here. 4 matches have officially been announced for the Backlash pay-per-view. Here we go. First off, we do know, coming out of tonight and whatnot, the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line when Damian Priest defends against Jey Uso. The undisputed WWE Championship will be on the line when Cody Rhodes defends against AJ Styles. The Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line when the Kabuki Warriors defend against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And then Kevin Owens and Randy Orton will be taking on the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and MFT Tamatonga. Whatever MFT means. And I do have a DM here that may tell me what MFT means. This says... Yeah, someone else says, I think it means my family tree. But why would they call Tamatonga my family tree? It just doesn't make any sense. Why would Tamatonga be called my family tree Tamatonga? I don't know. I don't know. Also, let's see. Do we have any more draft picks from the supplemental draft? Not seeing any yet. None yet by WWE on their Twitter. Maybe on their website. Let's check that. Let's see. Yeah, none of the social media supplemental picks yet. Give me 1 second because I'm getting maybe some breaking news. 1 second. There may have already been one of the draft picks. Okay. So, WWE has not announced this yet, but at the Performance Center, it was announced that Dijak has been drafted to Monday Night Raw. So Dijak is now part of the Raw brand. They did announce that for the crowd and for the wrestlers at the PC. That's cool. Dijak back on the main roster as Dijak. He ain't T-Bar on the main roster. And I think he's going to do very well on the main roster. I think he could do good. Hold on. There's a video here. I'm not going to play the video, though. Well, he knew. I feel like he knew because he's got his trench coat on and everything. He throws his glasses off. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Maybe he didn't know. Because he pulls you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to show this video anyways. Let's see this video anyways. I've scrubbed through it for you guys. It was actually pretty interesting. I'm not going to play the audio or anything, but Kelly Kincaid does make an announcement here, basically saying that, you know, Dijak has been drafted. But as you see, so he's got his sunglasses. He takes them off. And he puts on red sunglasses. Like the red tint on the frame, on the frames. He then pulls out a Raw T-shirt. So I think, oh, he knew. But then as you see, he pulls out a SmackDown shirt and says, I don't need that one. So yeah, maybe he knew he was getting drafted. Maybe he was just, you know, so hopeful. I don't know. That's cool. But we do now know that Dijak, of course, but Dijak has been drafted to Monday Night Raw. Now we got to wait and see who else gets drafted in the supplemental draft that for some reason they haven't announced yet. Let's just see if there's anything else here really fast. It looks like Dijak is the only other call-up. There's also a photo here of Shawn Michaels, the guy that runs NXT, and the GM Ava with Lyra Lyra Valkyria, Kiana James, Ilya Dragunov, Blair Davenport, and Nia Jax. So, and that shirt that Nia Jax pulled out, it was a Nia Jax shirt, but red. So he must have had a Nia Jax shirt made in red and a Nia Jax shirt made in blue in case he was drafted. Gotcha. But regardless, I think that means those are all the call-ups then. And we'll see where the others do get drafted. So officially 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 call-ups from NXT this year. But hey, the one I'm the most excited for, Dragunov, because he and Gunther are on the same brand. But with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Oh, wait, we do have one more bit donation from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, many WWE Universe say on Twitter that it is going to be Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Heatwave, and WWE may announce WWE X Marigold partnership. So, we know there may be some sort of a partnership between WWE and Marigold. WWE does want to work with Rossy Ogawa. Now, the reason they're saying that we could see Roxanne versus Julia at Heatwave is because Fightful's Corey Brennan did report that the going plan right now is for Julia to come in, immediately get a title shot, and that title shot be over Money in the Bank weekend at Heatwave. So that's why people are saying Julia Roxanne at Heatwave. I think that match would rock, be awesome, be great. So all what you're saying is stuff that's basically already been reported by the sheets. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, which should be an interesting show because they say that Tony Khan is not going to be there. He's going to be running the show remotely. But who's going to be running the show there? Who's going to be in charge there? Well, the Young Bucks, the EVPs. So this could be a very interesting Dynamite, if I do say so myself. So with that, guys, we'll see you back on Wednesday. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.